The Wave That Changed Everything, 2004 Tsunami Survivor Stories. Disclaimer: the stories presented in this video are based on testimonies from various sources, including survivors, rescue workers, and community members affected by the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. All accounts have been fact-checked and verified for accuracy while respecting the dignity and privacy of those involved. Names have been changed to protect the privacy of survivors and their families. December 26, 2004. Christmas morning in paradise. Families building sandcastles. Children laughing in the surf. Tourists sipping coffee, watching another perfect sunrise over the Andaman Sea. But something was wrong. The birds weren't just singing, they were screaming. And the dogs? The dogs were barking like they'd seen death itself. In the next 30 minutes, everything would change. Forever. Dr. Virat was starting his morning shift when the call came in. "There's flooding in Takwapa," the nurse said, her voice tight with confusion. "But it's different. The water is huge." Miles away, a young teacher named Sudha stood on Patong Beach, mesmerized. The ocean had pulled back further than she'd ever seen. Fish flopped on sand that had been underwater moments before. Her friends called to her, "Come look at this." But something primal whispered, "Run." For most people, the word tsunami meant nothing. It was foreign, incomprehensible, just another weather term they'd never needed to know. Until the horizon darkened with a wall of water 30 feet high. When Sudha opened her eyes, she was floating. Around her, a world turned upside down. Beds, umbrellas, trees, and people, all caught in nature's merciless current. What happened next reveals something profound about human nature. In the face of unimaginable destruction, ordinary people became extraordinary. Kunanan, a hotel worker, spent 15 days getting every guest to safety. Not because it was his job had literally been washed away, but because in crisis, we discover who we really are. A ferry captain, seeing hundreds of people stranded on Pifi Island, made trip after trip until his boat groaned under the weight of humanity. "We'll make room," he kept saying. "We always make room." But survival came with a cost that numbers can't capture. A father searched for 3 days for his brother. When he finally found the body, it was the first time his children had ever seen him cry. In those first days, entire communities gathered around radios, clinging to every word of news. When bad news came, the collective grief was audible, cries that seemed to tear the air itself. The psychological scars ran deep. Fishing communities couldn't bring themselves to eat from the sea for months. The water that had given them life had taken so much away. But from devastation emerged something beautiful. As one survivor later said, "I learned the good side of helping fellow human beings together. There are so many good people. It's very touching." Neighbors who had never spoken became lifelong friends. Strangers shared their last meals. International volunteers worked alongside local fishermen to rebuild what was lost. Yes, there were those who took advantage, looters who stole from damaged shops while others suffered. But they were outnumbered 1,000 to 1 by those who gave everything they had. The healing was slow. Children who couldn't eat or sleep for weeks. Students too traumatized to return to school. But teachers made house calls. Communities surrounded their wounded with love. Slowly, carefully, life began again. Today, the Andaman coast is different. Warning buoys float 200 kilometers out to sea. Sirens stand ready on every beach. Children practice tsunami drills the way we once practiced fire drills. But technology alone didn't save these communities. It was the decision made by survivors who'd lost everything to ensure no one would ever again face the wave unprepared. So here's what one survivor wants you to know. Nothing in life is certain. When you say goodbye to someone, don't be ashamed to tell them you love them. Hug them tight enough to make them feel loved. But love isn't just words. Love is preparation. Love is making sure your family knows what to do when the ground shakes near the ocean. Love is teaching your children that when the water pulls back unnaturally far, you run to high ground immediately. It takes 30 minutes to create a family emergency plan, 30 minutes to pack a go bag, 30 minutes to learn the evacuation routes in your area. 30 minutes, almost the same amount of time between the earthquake and the wave. The people of Thailand didn't just rebuild their beaches, they rebuilt their understanding of what it means to be prepared, to be connected, to be responsible for each other. As one survivor put it, we should be proud of our existence. We should use it wisely, because we cannot know what day we will have to leave. But until that day comes, we can choose to be ready. We can choose to be kind. We can choose to be the kind of people who, when the wave comes, make sure no one faces it alone. The wave changed everything. Let that change include you. Learn more about tsunamis in the related videos. Share this story. Start the conversation, because the best time to prepare for a disaster is right now.